Fantastic. Welcome to the Standard Podcast, where we raise the bar, rebuild the culture, and call out the lies or misconceptions that nobody else will. This isn't motivation. This is a movement. I'm Thomas Rowe, and today I'm joined by my host, Aaron Charles, and we're sitting down with Steve Muturi, sports director and founder of Ni-Wakati Sports Africa and the AM4Potential Program. For over 10 years, Steve has been planning, organizing, and executing grassroots and mass participation sports initiatives across Kenya and Africa, from marathons and tournaments to youth talent development and sports tourism. Steve is leveraging sports as a tool for social transformation, inclusion, and economic growth. As a program coordinator, talent ID specialist, sports tourism promoter, esports entrepreneur, and sustainability champion, Steve is building bridges between communities, athletes, and opportunities across the continent. His mission is simple but powerful: sports for a better world. We're diving into the truth behind what it really takes to build identity, discipline, and legacy in sports and in life. So let's get into it. Steve, we're super excited about having you join us. Thank you so much for taking time out of your early morning to meet with us.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be hosted by you, and it's my pleasure too.
Thank you so much. So let's get into it. You founded Ni-Wakati Sports Africa and the AM4Potential Program to use sports as a tool for social transformation across Kenya and Africa. What does raising the standard mean to you, especially in the work you're doing with grassroots sports?
Yeah, thanks, Thomas, for that question. For me, raising standard it's about basically the standard that has been set for athletes. I mean, here in Kenya has been greatly borrowed from the West, and is a certain way whereby when these kids come into these sports and they come to engage in sports, they're like, I want to be like, if it's a football, they want to be like Ronaldo, they want to be like Messi, yeah. And
Right.
There's that standard that has been set that to be the best, you have to go through a certain system. I mean, so for us, and you have to look a certain way. This feel that they're not like what they see on the television. Yeah. So for us, raising the standard is about telling these kids that you are special. God, when you came into this earth, you have a talent. God created you with a talent, and for us, sports is about participation more than performance. Yeah. So even when these kids, when they are playing, they are like these kids. Like Eric is not playing better than Aviel because there's a certain way they've seen has been presented. So for us, we're telling them, come into our sports program. You are unique. Bring your own uniqueness, and we try and focus on that every child is unique. Every kid is unique. Everyone in this world was created with a purpose, and just like God created, the world and the trees and the flowers. Every flower has its own color, be it a rose, red rose, be it a yellow, flower. So everyone is unique in his or her own way. So that's for us, raising the standard. It's about bringing your uniqueness, bringing out who you are, and we try and focus on identity. In our programs, we really try and focus so much about identity. Your identity is not in what others say that you are or you are not. You are special. You've been born. And you come in this earth with a gift, and we try and help develop this gift. Thank you.
Gotcha. That's impressive. And what would you say is the biggest lie you feel the culture of global sports industry sold African athletes and communities about opportunity, development, and what it takes to build a sustainable sports infrastructure?
Yeah, the lie that has been there is that it's like when these athletes come into the sports ecosystem, they are like bombarded with, it's like they are robots. Yeah.
Okay.
In the sense that you are brought into a system and you're told you're supposed to perform in this type of way. Yeah. Yes, we believe in a structured way. Yeah. But again, if you're not able to deliver according to the system, it's like you're not good enough. So there's that lie that you are if you're not able to fit in that system, you are not good enough. Yes. And
Right.
you cannot amount to anything. Yes. So I believe that is a misconception, and that's why even in our programs we are trying to bring out so many other sports, so that, like in Africa, most of the kids here, they play soccer, and all of them want to end up playing in the Premier Leagues, in the in the La Liga leagues, yeah, and in this American. But the truth is, not all are going to play in that league. That's the whole truth, yeah.
Yeah.
But we are trying and develop a way that when these kids come into the sports ecosystem, they are able to get other skills, not only the sporting skills. They're able to develop their character development. They're able to bring out the leadership skills, the discipline. Yeah. So I believe there's that lie that has been pushed, and it's unfortunately it has even crept here in Africa and in Kenya, and that there's a certain way that this sport should be done, and this person should end up in a certain way. And again, the glorification of the fame, the glorification of the huge amounts of money. Yeah. So you see that these kids, even when they come in there and they're coming from a background of a lack, so there's this lie that when I play soccer, I'll end up like player X. But when the player gets in and doesn't make it to that level, he becomes frustrated. Yeah. He ends
Right.
up in drug abuse and mental instability. So I think this is something that we really need to push through to the youth and the young people and the kids, that it's not about you becoming someone else. You are special, and you can become much more than what you see.
That's
Yeah.
so true. That is so true.
Mm.
You spent over 10 years organizing mass participation events like marathons and tournaments across Kenya and Africa. What made you say, I need to build something that gives African athletes and communities a real shot?
Yeah, that's a nice question. Yeah, what made me do that is because, again, it's the talent pathway. Yeah, because a lot it's not that I'm the only one person doing grassroots sports, but you find that even in this grassroots initiative, there's no pathway in terms of doing it in a, number one, a professional way, number two, advancing what these sports are being done. And again, right now, there's a change of the school curriculum system here in Kenya, and the new curriculum embraces three pathways. One of the pathways is the STEM: science, technology, and mathematics. The other one is the social sciences, and the last pathway is the creative arts and sports. So even in this creative art and sports, unfortunately, a lot of focus has gone into the traditional sports. As I said, the traditional sports are the football, the volleyballs, the netballs. But again, the new crop of the generation, Gen Zs, the generation Alpha, they are not into. We actually even statistics have shown that they are not into the traditional sports. So, and also trying to make them to be physically active, because again, Thomas, right now in Africa and in Kenya, we are facing a crisis in terms of non-communicable diseases.
Okay.
We find that 50% of the bed hospital admissions are because of the non-communicable disease. So we're also trying to promote physical activity amongst the youth, amongst the kids, and also amongst the older generation. Yeah. So
Right.
I think that really has led me to come up with these initiatives. Thank you.
That's fantastic. We're going to turn it over to segment 2, which is identity and legacy. Aaron's going to go ahead and lead that. Aaron, take it away.
Okay, I am going to jump in here now. I would love for you to share with our audience, Steve, just who are you beyond all the things that Thomas has shared with us so far? Like, who are you, and how do you define character, integrity, and discipline as part of that?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'd say Steve is first of all, I'm my husband, husband to one wife. She's called Denise. Been married for this is my 16th year. I have 3 kids. Adiel, firstborn daughter, and then 2 sons, Nazarene and Javier. So Steve, first of all, is a husband and is a father, and I'm a firm believer of that of potential. I believe in potential, and I believe that here in earth, God created us to have dominion, and also we came in this world with a lot of potential, and I believe that it's just like a seed that is in the right environment. Given the right environment, it will definitely sprout. So I believe in giving opportunities to people around me. Service, I believe in service, and also I believe in honoring God. That's part of key principle in not only in our program, but in also what I do. So I believe in honoring God. I believe in service to God's people, service to what I do, giving service to the community, giving service to my family. Yeah, I believe God gave us. I always teach the kids in our programs. God gave us 2 hands, one hand to give, and another one to receive. So it's not about giving. I mean, receiving only. Yeah, it's about giving and it's about receiving. So I'm a believer of a firm believer of giving, and I'm a firm believer of of sharing what God has given unto us. Yes.
I love that. Yes, we are here to share our gifts and talents that God gave us. As far as your mission is in making sports for a better world, what would you say is legacy? What legacy do you want to leave as part of the work that you're doing?
Yeah. Thank you. Legacy for me is big picture. Legacy is something. I mean, what will others? What will be said or when I'm long gone? Yeah. So
Yep.
for me, one legacy is the connection part. Yeah. I believe I'm a firm believer of Pan-African connector. Only a Pan-African connector is in the sense that now that I've been able to meet with Erin, with Thomas, and with your great organization, I'm a believer of sharing and also networking. So legacy for me is about networking. Networking in the sense that I'm able to share or to tell the other person that, hey, there's this organization that can help us. There's this organization that we can partner with them. We can collaborate. So for me, it's about helping the whole sporting ecosystem, because again we come from a background here in Africa, Kenya, of gatekeeping, whereby when someone gets a connection or someone that can be able to help others, he sees that as just an avenue to help himself or a particular people. So, but for us, and I can share this, that we've we've uh, we've tried to bring opportunities to many people that we work with, to many organizations. Like the other day, this week, actually it was last week, there's a football organization that we registered, and we registered on behalf of the minorities, tribes here in Kenya, and for the refugees. And this is about giving them a platform. And when I called a friend of mine, Peter is in Kalobei, is in Kakumakam, I told him about that the program, the CONIFA, the organization is called CONIFA. I told him that we have onboarded them, and we are supposed to host an African Continental Championship here in Kenya. So for him, it was like, oh, we are coming to Nairobi, the big city. How are we going about it? What about the uniform? And I told him, we're going to host you. So it's about creating also opportunities for others. So for me, the big picture is creating an opportunity for someone else.
I love that.
Awesome.
That is so good. What's one truth you wish every young athlete, parent, or coach understood about building careers, accessing opportunities, and developing talent in ways that serve communities?
Yeah, I'd say potential. For me, I'd love parents to just know that their children, their kids are special, and not comparing. Because again, the system is so structured in a way that go to primary school, go to high school, go to university, then get a job. Yeah. And this system, especially for here in Africa, probably in the West, it has been working in Europe, but here in Africa, that system, in one way or another, has really made. We find that so many graduates, after going through that system, because the system told them go to primary school, go to high school, get good grades, and then go to university, study the courses that is doctor, a medicine, go to do medicine, be an accountant, be an engineer. But again, I'd love to tell, I actually tell parents that the 21st century, there are a lot of jobs or careers that have been created out of creativity. Yes. And I think I'm actually going around schools trying to try and educate even the teachers about the sports, the availability of sports careers available right now. And how am I doing that? Because of the emerging sports. As I've said, there's that tendency of just focusing on the traditional sports. Yeah, football, netball, volleyball, the hockey. But again, the emerging sports that are coming up, there's a lot of opportunities. For instance, I'm promoting dodgeball, and dodgeball is very new here in Kenya, very new in Africa, and there's a lot of opportunity in terms of referees, a lot of opportunities in terms of tournament organizers. Let me share this, that even the balls, we were donated some balls for playing dodgeballs, but you realize in America, in Europe, dodgeball is an indoor sport, correct? Played indoors, but here we started playing it outdoors, and we realized that the balls that we were playing, they weared out very fast. So we became innovative, and we started manufacturing our own balls. Yeah. So, and in this innovation, actually, Thomas, we've been able to create jobs, because right now, as we go to schools, we're trying to promote these sports. Schools have really shown an interest, and they are receiving this game with a lot of curiosity and a lot of interest. So, and the balls we are in short of balls. So what do? We started making the balls, and there's a demand for that. And when there's a demand for those balls, we are creating opportunities for the young people. Yeah, and that's why I said there are a lot of jobs that are now coming in terms of solutions. Number one, we are creating jobs. Number two, we are promoting sports. Number three, also in terms of the recycling, because these balls we are using are part of the old denim jeans that are thrown away, imported from the West. Because again, now Kenya is the largest importer of second-hand clothes in Africa. Yeah. So we are also trying to, in one way or another, this is a double-edged sword. One way we are promoting sports. On the other way, we are creating opportunities for young people. On the other way, we are, in the circular economy. So for me, just to go back to your question, is that I'm trying to tell parents that you don't have to structure. Yes, the system, you went through the system, you became an engineer. Right now, try and listen to your child, and focus on his interest in terms of his passions. Yeah, because again, when you do something, when you're passionate about something, it creates many opportunities. And also for me, let me say this: I was not. I'm a trained bookkeeper, so you'd wonder how from bookkeeping now I'm into sports. It's because of the passion that I have for sports, and also that sports has an enormous potential, not only to promote sports, cuts across even all religions, because sport is able to bring in all religions together. In my programs, I can tell you, I have Muslim, I have Christian, I have, Hindus, yes, and
Yep.
this is something that really, really cuts across. Yes, yes.
I love that. So awesome. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to Thomas. He's going to ask you the next set of questions.
Awesome. Hey, Steve, thanks so much. If you could sit down with a young African athlete just starting out, maybe playing at the grassroots level, what advice would you give them about pursuing sports, accessing opportunities, and building their future?
Yeah, and I'm actually sitting with a couple of young guys, and what I'm telling them is that number one is discipline, the discipline part of it. And I'm
Right.
also telling them about character development, because sports really shapes your character. Number two, the enormous opportunities that lie in sports. Last year I was invited by a local university here, one of the biggest local universities, that offer sports as a career. So as I was talking to these fourth years, they actually graduated, and I was telling them about the immense opportunities that lie in sports. Yeah, and them, I was actually I've not majored my degree in sports. Them, they've majored in a degree in sports, but oh, we cannot find jobs. There are no jobs. Yes, I told them, what are you saying? There are no jobs, and right now there are so many sports. Yeah, don't focus on only one sport, because everyone has tend to focus on a sport that is maybe on like here in Kenya, because people follow football religiously.
Right.
So I'm telling them, not just don't focus on foot. You can focus on disc golf.
Okay.
Yeah, you can focus on a sport like jump rope. Yes, you can focus, like right now there's esports, and
Right.
we are actually promoting. There's the world's first acrobatic esport, and it's called freestyle trampoline. So I tell these young people to be creative, and also to not to hear, not only to rely on the curriculum, that which they were taught, because right now even the university, the Kenyatta University, as I've told you, the director of sports are engaging us as
Gotcha.
Ni-Wakati to try and help them to develop and promote some of these emerging sports. So I think there's a lot of opportunities that lie ahead for Kenyans, for a lot of young people, not only in Kenya and also in Africa. And again, let me say this, Thomas and Erin. Right now, the one asset that Africa is really leveraging on is the population.
Okay.
Because right now the population is in Africa is 70% below the age of 30 years. So we are seeing even these sports in a couple of years. They are saying in 2050, 1 in every 5 young people will be an African. So these sports will be, most of them will be not only played here in Africa, but we are going to see a lot of opportunities in our continent.
Right.
And we want to drive this agenda.
Totally get it. And now with over 10 years of building Ni-Wakati Sports Africa and AM4Potential, what is the one thing you're trying to make sure the next generation of African sports leaders understand about using sports for a social transformation?
Yes, it's a very good question. One thing I want to make them understand is that sports, number one, it addresses a lot of issues in terms of, number one, we could say climate issues.
Okay.
We are using sports. We have a program here in Nairobi. It's called Protect Our Climate, Protect Our Planet Initiative. So we're using sports as one of the vehicles to pass the message of climate. Yeah. We're using sports as a way to tackle social vices here in the city. Yes, because again, in terms of, we find that there's a lot also of teenage pregnancy. So we are trying to come up with sports to try also to help these young mothers at least be engaged. We're finding it sports coming also to help in terms of mental.
Right.
Mental sports is coming in also to help in terms of mental health. Yes, the mass participation events that we organize, marathons, they are really coming in handy. Yes, and finally, we are using also sports to spread the word of God. Yes. Yeah, being a firm believer in the Bible and in the Word of God, we are using sports as a tool to evangelize. Yes. And
Okay.
how do we do it? How do we do it? We have a program and it's called SAM. SAM is an acronym for sports as a ministry. So we are using sports to reach out to the youth that are not going to churches. So we are using sport as our pulpit to reach out to them. And we do not. And how do we reach to them? We do not reach to them in a forceful way. We organize tournaments. We just go to where they are in urban areas, in rural areas. Yeah, we engage the youth in sports because sports is something that the youth understand. So when they come in there, we are able to have session after the match. If it's a football, if it's dodgeball, especially these emerging sports, they are really getting the youth and the kids really want to because it's like an explorative way. So in the sessions after engage them in the sports, that's when we get that opportunity to delve into the Word of God. Yeah, and there are a lot of issues. The young people here in Kenya, there are a lot of issues. They are undergoing a lot of issues and pressure.
Right.
So we find it as a source of encouragement because these young people could not have otherwise gotten the Word of God apart from this initiative through sport.
Outstanding. Steve, that's awesome. We're going to turn it over to segment 4, which is the rapid fire round with Erin. She's going to ask you a series of questions and you just give a 1 to 2 answer response. How's that work?
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to say discipline equals.
Yes. Say it again. I didn't get it.
Discipline equals.
Discipline equal. I think I didn't get the question well.
Oh, that's okay. So I'm going to just ask you short sentences. You're going to finish my sentence. So what would you say discipline equals in your world?
Oh, discipline equals okay. Discipline. I go with Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn says discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment.
I love that. Jim Rohn's
Yes.
amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
what about leadership? What does leadership equal?
Leadership equals to service, and service equals to leadership.
I love that. Faith equals.
Faith equals, that's the most powerful force that we do have here on earth. You can lose everything, but with faith you can get back everything.
Yep. Yes. What about
Faith is
legacy? Legacy equals.
legacy equals big picture.
That's
When
right.
I'm gone,
What's one thing, Steve, you would never compromise on?
I think for me it's my faith.
I love that. And what if you could put a message on a billboard, put out a big message to the next generation of African athletes, what would that message be?
Message would be, you are born with a potential. You are born with something bigger than what people see.
I love that.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Steve, first of all, team, we want to give a big thank you to Steve. I believe it's 1:00 in the morning. So Steve made an incredible commitment to join us on this podcast. Steve, where can people connect with you, whether that's on LinkedIn, social media, a website, or anything that you feel they need to connect with you at?
Thank you so much, Thomas. Yeah, we are on Instagram, Ni-Wakati
Okay.
Sports. Yeah, on LinkedIn, we are also on LinkedIn as Ni-Wakati Sports, and also on LinkedIn, I'm there on my profile as Steve Muturi. We are actually developing a website, so it's gonna be probably in the first week of February or second week. That is next week. So it's gonna be Ni-Wakati Sports Africa.com, and we're also on Facebook. Ni-Wakati Sports. Yes, and so those are the handles we are on. Yes, so people can follow us. We invite partners, collaborations. Thanks to you, Thomas and Erin, for hosting us, for making. I mean, you see, without people knowing, you might do something, but people don't know what you're doing. It's like the way the scripture says, "A city on a hill." I mean, you have a light, but you hidden it. So thank you for letting what we are doing be exposed, and getting people to see what we are doing out here. And I can say there are a lot of people like me, like in Africa, doing amazing work. It's just that they don't get that visibility. So we're also humbled to have this opportunity with you.
Thank you, Steve. This is fantastic. We've had guests from North America, meaning America and Canada, Europe, Southeast Asia, South America, and now in Africa. Steve Muturi, thank you for building sports infrastructure and opportunities across Africa. And team, if this conversation hits you, do two things for us. One, share this episode with someone who needs to hear it, an athlete trying to access opportunity, a coach building programs in underserved communities, a sport leader trying to use sports for a social good. And two, let's connect with Steve on LinkedIn and learn more about Ni-Wakati Sports Africa and AM4Potential Program. And if you're serious about grassroots sports development, talent identification, and sports tourism in Africa, Steve is building the bridges you need to cross. And if you're an athlete, parent, or coach ready to raise the standard, check us out at blueprintbluechip.com. We help athletes build identity, discipline, and legacy that goes far beyond the game. And if you're ready to clear up who you are beyond the game, join us for a 3-day reset at blueprintbluechip.com. It's a win-play show and a guarantee to challenge you both mentally and physically. And if this episode resonated with you, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps us reach more athletes, parents, and leaders who need to hear this message. This is the Standard Podcast, and this movement only grows when we raise the standard together. Talent fades, but truth endures. Let's raise the bar, let's rebuild the culture, and let's become the standard. Steve, Aaron, thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today. You guys have a great day, and Steve, have a great evening.